Best Irish music on irishradio.org with Jerry Byrne.
Irish Radio, been speaking to many of the talents of Irish music since lockdown. Spoke to this gentleman last year now. He has never stopped doing his Facebook Lives. They have gone an absolute storm and are still going an absolute storm. Incredibly requested, very, very popular songsmith, singer and also musician. I'm delighted to say hello from his home in Newry, County Down to Colin Harney. Colin, how are you?
Jerry, good evening to you and good evening to your listeners as well.
Listen, lovely to speak to you. And listen, you've had an incredible, I'll have to say, an incredible lockdown period.
Yeah, it's really been incredible. I suppose with the lockdown, it gave me an opportunity, Jerry, to use Facebook, I suppose, as a platform to still get my music out there. And probably like most artists there, at the start, we were a bit uneasy about it. It was all new, all this new technology, but we've got into the way of it, and I have to say the audiences that I'm getting on a Wednesday evening and on a Sunday evening have been tremendous. And funny enough, this Sunday will be the 118th show that I have done.
Wow.
118 shows between between Sundays and the Wednesdays. No, delighted with it. They're still holding on to the figures, the audiences, and I'm sure your listeners have heard we have the Harney lockdown family, that a lot of them call themselves anyway. So it's been very, very good, and I have to say.
Indeed, yes. And of course, we carry you here on Irish Radio every Sunday afternoon from 3 o'clock, and I'll have to say, it does go down an absolute storm.
Oh, well, that's great. And thank you so much for including me in the show now, as well as getting the Harney Lockdown family over here and the Facebook followers. It's great to have the listeners over with yourselves there as well. Jerry, and thanks very much for facilitating that as well.
A real pleasure, Colin. Now, listen, you've got a number one song, number one with us again this week with the legend Brian Call, and also a brand new album.
Brand new album. Well, the album. I suppose the song, first of all, the Brian Call song, I had done really well with. We're going to have a good time tonight, and there was somebody else said to me, you need to think about bringing out another song, and somebody suggested a song about Brian Call, and it was as if it was meant to be, Jay, because I contacted Vincey Sawyer's the gentleman that wrote it, and your listeners will probably be aware of his late brother, Maurice Sawyer, wrote the song, There's Always a Fire in the Kitchen.
Indeed, yes.
He wrote that song. So I rang Vincent and I said, listen, I was thinking of doing another song. Would you by any chance have anything written about Brian Call? And he says, Colin, I don't believe it, because I've literally just finished a song about Brian Call. And he sent it over to me, and I made a few tweaks and changes to it then. And then I got in touch with Stephen Smith, who actually produced the record and the album, the single. And he put his touch to it. And between the three of us, we come up with the legend Brian Call, and I have to say, Jay, it is just going crazy. The audiences that I'm getting for it and the feedback has just been tremendous. It's really been overwhelming,
Indeed, it certainly has. And also, you've released an album to boot.
Reviews. Well, I had been thinking this a wee while of doing a new album, and we were looking at an awful lot of the requests that was coming in for during the Facebook shows. There was a show band theme to them, and I decided then would look at the most popular songs and put them all on the one album. And I was also very conscious as well. Yes, I have two albums out, but with this COVID thing as well, Jay, there's a lot of people there I'm very conscious of that have maybe they're out on furlough, or they've lost their jobs, or there's a bit more financial difficulties there. So I wanted to include as many songs just on the one album. So I've come up with the 12 songs, and then I decided to put the We're going to have a good time tonight, the hit single. And then when Brian's song took off, I thought, well, we'll just add that in as a bonus track as well, so for the listeners. So there's actually 14 tracks, all show band types. It was the show band theme, and I have to say the feedback has been absolutely brilliant for it as well. So thank God things are going well with it.
Indeed. I mean, the album features, like the classics like the old rugged cross stitch, You Mention My Name, Singing Back Home, Beautiful Mead, Tennessee Waltz, all sort of classic popular standards.
Yes. Yeah, as I said, there were the popular ones that were on the show. There were ones that I would do in my program anyway, and as well as other new material. I'm always trying, but I always loved the show band era, and it really does seem that the listeners enjoy that as well, because I think it brings back so many memories as well. Each song has a memory for somebody out there, and. Even there's one that I do on it, El Silencio, which is an instrumental that I do on the keyboard, but it's all trumpet based, and it really goes down really well. And it's again, it's a show band song, or tune, But no, thank God it has really went well for me.
Indeed, it's gone a storm, and as I say, the live shows have gone an absolute storm, and when you started it off in the early days, the same as everybody else, you kind of never knew how things were going to go, or how how the live shows were going to go, or anything else, but they've gone an absolute storm. Yeah.
Well, that's it. As I say, I've maintained and increased the audiences that I'm playing to, or the listeners, and I suppose who would have thought a year and whatever, 2 or 3 months, we're still doing the shows, and would hope that things may have changed by now. But I suppose there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, Jerry, and hopefully it'll come to the stage where we will get out again. I know over here they're talking about opening up the bars again later on in the month, but they still are not allowed to have music. But if I suppose with the vaccinations going on and the things are calming down a wee bit, just hope to God that we'll maybe get out before the end of the year anyway. I know certainly I'm hoping that maybe like myself for one piece or maybe a 2-piece will get out, but I don't think it'll be next year, I'm sure, before the big bands get out,
Indeed, it's difficult to know as to how it will all work out. I think if there's one thing that all of this has been, it's been an incredible learning curve for everyone. We've kind of learned as we've gone along as to what the situation is.
Well, yes, I think you're right. I mean, the whole technology thing, and even taking it out of the music, you've got people doing meetings and Zoom calls and all sorts of things, and just listening to them today, the doctors are even doing calls on the laptop that patients aren't going in if it's not an urgency, So there's positive things that come out of it as well. But I think one of the things that will come out of this, Jay, is, I hope anyway as well, people will not take things as much for granted in future. I think they'll really be appreciative of being able to get out for a walk and being able to go down to the pub for a drink and meet their friends, and being able to go out and dance again, or go out and listen to music, because it's been a long time. Who would have ever thought we'd be in a position like this where you weren't allowed to get out and dance? And there are so many people, especially listening to my shows, that just are chomping at the bit to get out.
Indeed.
For a good dance.
Indeed so. That is the thing. But the one thing about it is, it will just take that little bit of time, and we shall get there.
Oh well, we will get there. We will get there. As I say, I'm hoping maybe towards the end of the year we'll make it out for the odd gig. Certainly for 2022. I mean, thankfully I've gotten a lot of bookings coming in already. But that's good. So hopefully, it'll continue through then.
Indeed, that's it. And in the meantime, you're continuing to battle on each Wednesday and each Sunday. So fair play on that.
each Wednesday and each Sunday, and yes, and I always put a wee notice up on Facebook there, to let people know about the show. But I also, Jay, have a new website, and again, I suppose that's the new technology as well. I wouldn't have never thought of doing this, but I have a new website, and if your listeners want to have a wee look at it, it's www.colinharney.com, and on that you'll see all the future shows, the dates of a lot of the Facebook shows, and there's a gallery there of photographs, and there's a bio, and there's a store there, a shop, where you can actually purchase the single or the album or all the albums that's there, and there's different ways, there's different bundles you can get, or you can just get one on its own. So your listeners are more welcome to have a wee browse through it, and even send me a wee comment to let me know what to think of it anyway. So it's all new to me, all this stuff, so we're learning as we go along,
Indeed. So, but well done on it all. And listen, here's to better times, Colin.
Hopefully so. And you never know, Jerry, maybe get the chance to get over and see you and do a wee gig over there, and maybe some of your listeners will come out to see me, or if they're over in Ireland here at any time, maybe when things get going again, they'll check out the website and see where I am, and I'll be delighted to see them as well.
Indeed.
We have a young lady there, Jay, who tunes into your shows. Oh, she's a big fan of yours. That's Jennifer Walton, and her son as well, Jeffrey. So I just say a big hello to them, because I know they'll be tuned in as well, and they're faithful listeners of your good self as well, and become great friends with them as well. So there's so many, as I say, there's so many pluses out of this here. There's so many friends that have been made. I mean, I think we have started off. We started a new page, and we've over 2,000 people have signed up to it already. And even the Harney lockdown family at the start was something like 400 people was in it, or is still in it. Then and they're all during the shows. They're all talking to one another, and they've made friends with one another. So there's a great family atmosphere to it. And I just hope, one of my plans is then when we do get back, that we will have a big night or a couple of nights in some hotel or whatever, be it over in Scotland or England or over here. We'll just have to wait and see. But that's the intention, and we'll get all the Harney lockdown family together in a big room, and they can dance the night away.
Great. Sounds good, Colin. Listen, and we look forward to listening to you live later on here at 3:00 on Irish Radio. Thanks very much for joining me, Colin.
Not at all, Jan. Thank you very much to you, and a big thank you to all your listeners as well for all their support of my music as well. Thank you.